So you've got a piece of research that you'd like to share with the world, but where to begin? In this short video, we'll talk about how to communicate your science via social media. Regardless of the platform that you end up going with, the most important thing to remember is to be clear in your mind about the story that you'd like to tell. Let's start by thinking about what exactly it is you'd like to share so we can figure out where the best place for that is going to be. Start by asking, what is the key message that you would like your audience to take away? If you have one main point, then perhaps a LinkedIn post or a graphic or image on Twitter, now X, would be appropriate, or perhaps a short video on TikTok or Instagram would work better. Now, of those options, which format do you think your research really lends itself to? Could you present your headline result in a sentence, an image, a 10-second video? Now, who are you really trying to reach with your science? Are you trying to engage TikTokers? Or are you more interested in keeping your professional LinkedIn network up to date? And finally, what's your own personal style? Are you happier to speak to your audience through a video? Or would you prefer to be behind the camera, typing up a tweet or posting from Instagram?
Everyone's research or paper can be summed up in the social media equivalent of a one-liner. If you have a few key messages and it's best to stick with a rule of three, then long-term medium like a podcast episode, blog post or YouTube video may be best. It's still good to ask yourself the same questions as before. Which format suits your research best? Who are you trying to reach? What would you personally prefer? If you're gonna go with a video, there are some important things to remember. Keep the story and therefore the video as short and snappy as you can, even if you're going for a longer YouTube one. Start with something attention grabbing, like a headline or a question, and be creative. You'll want something to engage your audience in those first few seconds. It's also helpful to end with something punchy, so your audience will go away remembering those final words. Keeping the video succinct may mean editing after filming to avoid too many pauses, as well as writing a tight script before filming to avoid too many cuts. You may even want to consider using live videos, which requires some rehearsal. Some other do's and don'ts are that when pulling it all together, adding captions can be really helpful to maximize accessibility, but don't go overboard with stickers or flyers. You may also want to think about trending music or hashtags by researching common search words.
If you are able to draw in a big audience, it's probable that you'll have some trolls in there. So how do you deal with skepticism, antagonism and straight up abuse? Often the best policy is simply not to engage. There should be a block button on every platform. Don't let it detract from your science, and also don't let it get you down. Whether you're a seasoned YouTuber or you're totally new to this, science communication is a process of trial and error. Be prepared for frustration while you figure out what works best for you and your science. You may find it helpful to ask for feedback from people that you know, as well as to try new things, experiment and step outside your comfort zone. And if you do find that you hit a creative wall, you can always search online for new inspiration.
So here's just a reminder of what we covered in this video. Identify what it is you want to share. Consider which platform would be best to share it on. Try to keep the message succinct and memorable. And remember, don't be afraid to ask for or receive feedback. Good luck.